Broski. Today's video, we're talking about how to become the man women fantasize about. Now, this applies if you're in a relationship or you're dating, but there's principles that are making women so magnetic to these types of men that I'm going to break down in this video. And this is not about looks. This is not about physical appearance. I'm not going to give you physical changes to make to your looks. This is an energy thing. Because believe me when I say it, some of these things that I'm going to share with you in this video are so much more important and hold so much more weight to the level of attraction a woman feels around you compared to the six-pack abs, bro. The fucking $1 million in the bank, bro. So many of the women that are drawn to those kinds of men are not the women that you want. Trust me, right? Trust me. Yes, there is a baseline level of providing from a financial standpoint. That's important. Yes, there's a baseline level of obtaining a certain level of physical appearance. That's important to attraction. But without these energetic principles dialed in underneath, those women, they're not going to be fulfilled by being around a man who doesn't embody these things. So let's get stuck into it. Doesn't matter at what age you are here, right? You can be in your 50s or you can be in your teenage years. Understanding these principles is absolutely essential. I've been with my partner, Amanda, for the last 10 years. I met her when I was 21. Our relationship just gets deeper and deeper and deeper because I've been on this journey of really applying these things in my life. I now coach men in this work. I've been coaching for the last 7 years, coached thousands of guys through this process. So, what I'm about to share with you comes with a lot of my own trial and error, okay? The first thing is a level of initiative and leadership in a relationship. When you have initiative as a man, that level of, you can sense when something needs to be done. You don't wait to be asked. You know when something needs to be actioned. You take care of things for her. You take things off her plate. You lighten the mental load for her in her life. And when she's around you, she's like, fuck, I feel life is easy. I feel taken care of. Like my man takes care of me. My man's got things under control. My man's got my best interest in mind. He's got one fucking eye on the vision, but he's got one eye on his surroundings, his environment, his lady, right? That level of initiative is so attractive for women. The women you're trying to bring in, whether you're dating a woman, you're dating a high-value woman, or you're with a high-value woman right now, keep having a level of pulse check on where she's at and what she's needing. And do not wait for her to tell you or ask you to step in to help her with something. See it and act on it immediately. And again, this takes practice, right? We're not always going to master this. At least for me in my life, I remember when I first started getting my online business going, there was so many plates that I was juggling, so many things that I was attending to in my business and making content and coaching and organizing the sales and blah, 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 blah. And very often I would run out of energy. I'd run out of the vitality to have that level of awareness, to see what she was going through. Now, my partner, Amanda, is a digital marketer. She's helped me in my business with the marketing, and she's been the CMO for a few different companies. So she's a go-getter. She's a high performer. But I early on would neglect some of these ways that I could support her in her life, and particularly because she was a high performer. She needed that extra level of initiative from me, because there was times when she was coming home to shit lying around the house, or things that wasn't attended to, or the fridge was broken and I hadn't addressed it. Like, there was stuff that I wasn't taking off her plate, and now she would come home and there was just more things, more mental load that she was carrying after an already busy workday. That's not the kind of man she wants to be with. It doesn't matter how many fucking followers I had online. If I can't take care of those things, she's going to lose that attraction and that trust, and almost that sense of this man is in his masculine. He's got things under control. Those masculine principles are so attractive to a woman, and I would in fact say more so than the six-pack abs and the big biceps, right? We're moving into this world, my bro, where the prefrontal lobe is the most attractive thing for women, especially the women who are embodied, the women who are, who know themselves, the women who've done some of the work, the queens out there. Right? The women who are in the princess energy, they're still going to be attracted to the guys with all the money and who neglect these kinds of things. But again, those relationships are stale, they're stagnant, they don't last long. There's no juice, there's no longevity in it, right? What you really want is a relationship that keeps expanding, that keeps fulfilling you. You keep fulfilling her, she keeps fulfilling you, and it keeps evolving to all new levels of love and devotion and freedom and having a life partner that you can just travel with and feel so safe and she trusts you like that. This is how you get there. Okay. This is how you get there. Now, the next point is a man who's grounded in himself. Like, you'll notice that all of these points are interconnected. You know, you almost can't have one without the other, but I'm going to touch on them anyway. You know, a man who's grounded within himself is a man who he's not trying to always solve problems for his woman. You know, he's a man that can be a level of safety in his body, a man that can be steady in his nervous system if his partner is going through all kinds of chaos and mayhem in her life, right? I'll give you an example of what happened to me the other day. A few days ago, I was traveling from Queensland in Brisbane, Australia to Costa Rica, where I am right now. And on this 28-hour journey that we were on, there was a few different stops we had. And one of our stops, we had to collect our bags. Now, I'm traveling with my partner, Amanda. We get to the carousel where the bags are, and her bags, one of her bags weren't there. Now, she had just done all the shopping and all this stuff to, like, you know, pack for this trip, and her bag didn't show up. And she started to get really upset. She started to get really angry. She started to get emotional. And in my head, I was like, it's just a bag. You know, it's just clothes. Who really fucking cares? But I didn't say that. I stayed calm and grounded in my body. Even after I hadn't really slept on the flight, even though we're in a chaotic environment, I knew in that moment I had to stay calm in my body. And just empathize with her. I feel you, love. That sucks. That sucks. We're going to find it. We're going to get it back. She felt all the emotions. She was upset. I was the space for her to experience those emotions, but I wasn't trying to fix them or minimize them, right? I was just there grounded with her as a force or a space that she could bump up against, knowing that I got her, and almost reassure her, like I said, that we're going to get this fucking bag back. We get on the next flight. We fly to the next destination, which was San Jose. We get off the plane to collect our bags at the final destination, and there her bag was. It must have just skipped the layover stop and went straight to the final destination. And she's like, oh, there it is. And I was like, see, knew it would show up. And in that moment, she was kind of like reassured by the fact that, oh, you know what? It actually wasn't that big deal. And now going forward into the future, she was reflecting on how she can be more steady in herself instead of reacting in those moments without me needing to tell her. Okay. So the point is, being grounded in your body as a man allows you to handle more emotional intensity. Again, there's going to be waves or levels to this stuff, my bro. You know, you can't necessarily go from 0 to 100 immediately if your nervous system is not used to handling greater levels of emotional intensity. You get to practice it. You practice staying grounded in the moments where you're really triggered, or in the moments where you go do something that's really scary and it feels really uncomfortable. You know, like the other day I was like surfing out here and the waves were really big, and the practice is, can I stay calm and relaxed even when I'm trying to surf these big waves that are out of my comfort zone? I'm stretching my capacity. So as you put yourself in more of these environments and you notice when the mind is trying to pull you out of the body, you go back into the body and go, can I be with this? Can I relax into this? Can I soften into this? And as you practice doing that, all of a sudden these more intense moments becomes moments where you just get to practice being calm without reacting. Okay? Do it in the small moments. It makes it a lot easier to do it in the big moments, right? And especially in the moments where big emotions, maybe your partner is experiencing big emotions. If you can provide that steadiness to her, that is so attractive, my bro. That is the thing that she's going to trust and bump against, knowing that my man has got me emotionally. He's got me, right? So this goes on to the third point almost here where I transition. This third point is almost just as important as what I just shared, but it's the ability to lead emotionally, to have emotional leadership, right? Emotional leadership is the ability to, you know, hear the pain and not the blame behind when your partner's upset, because there's going to be times when your girl is upset about things. She's going to like be a little bit irrational when women are in their emotions. They're not in the logical brain. You don't need to lead her through logic. There's no need to try to fix the facts in certain situations if she's emotional. Back to the scenario of the bag, right? Fixing the facts was like, oh, let me trace back to where the bag was dropped. Like blah 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 blah. Like in that moment, she's feeling emotional. Babe, it's all good. We're gonna sort this out. I feel you. I understand why you're feeling that way. It sucks, right? We're not trying to fix the facts there. If they're in the emotions, you just get to emotionally lead her back to safety, back to calmness, back to regularity through you just being in your body, right? Groundedness. Emotional leadership is the ability to have hard conversations, is the ability to notice when a conversation needs to be had. Emotional leadership is the ability to set parameters or boundaries around what you will and will not tolerate in your relationship. If your woman is treating you a certain way and it doesn't align, it doesn't feel respectful for you, if you don't feel like you're being respected in your relationship and you tolerate that or you compromise that, then it's going to keep happening. And eventually you're going to resent her, right? Eventually resentment is going to erode this attraction in your relationship, but that's not her fault. That's your fault. You created that, right? So emotional leadership is the ability early on to be like, hey, I'm not okay with that. We're like, this is not going to fly in this relationship. Or I have this specific need for respect or understanding in our relationship right now. And it feels really upsetting and hurtful when you speak to me like that. So may I request that going forward that we do not swear at each other. If you are upset, you can express yourself, but there will be no swear words used around me. There will be no name calling used around me. Okay, sweetheart? So it's landing or expressing with calmness and steadiness, but with firmness and authority, right? Because you know yourself. A man who's in this energy knows himself. He knows what he will and will not tolerate, knows what he won't compromise on. And that energy is really fucking attractive for a woman to be around, right? For a lot of women who grew up without father figures present in their life, they lacked those level of boundaries. They lacked the parameters through which they can express themselves, or the parameters through which what is considered, appropriate, mature female behavior and what is princess, childish behavior. A lot of women were not given that through their fathers, through the lack of fatherhood energy in their life, through the lack of healthy male role models in their life. So as a man, as you step into that and you get to bring that to her, it's deeply healing when she gets that. Keep in mind, bro, that initially when she gets that and you provide emotional leadership in this way, you're going to get some kickback. You're going to get some, it could trigger her a lot when you do that. Because remember, if she's so used to just having it her way all the fucking time, because she didn't have a dad growing up to give her that level of, hey, no, this is not how it's going to be. That's not how you're going to speak. That's not how you're going to behave. If she didn't have that, then that structure and that firmness is going to be really triggering to her. But deep down, it's what she really fucking needs. Deep down, she wants to surrender and submit to your leadership. How do I know? Because I've been fucking doing it for the last 10 years in my relationship, bro. And I've been making so many mistakes along the way. But I've noticed what happens when I fucking take ownership, when I own it. When I know what's right, when I know what's true, when I know what I stand for in my life as a man. So notice so much of this for you gets to come back to like doing your own sense of self-reflection, doing your own sense of self-awareness to be like, what are my values as a man? What do I want in my woman? What am I okay with and not okay with? And can I bring this energy into interactions, into how I communicate with her, so that she feels safe enough around me to want to meet me where I'm at, right? And I want you thinking about this too. Like all of this stuff, again, is an energy. Underneath all of this is an energy of when you feel secure inside of yourself, when you know that you're the fucking man, you're the guy. No one's better than you, right? No one compares to you. When you know that you are the source of all that is, when you know that you are pure unconditional love behind this limited self that sometimes the mind will pull you into, which tells you you're not enough, or you need to be a certain way, you need to get validation out there. When you transcend all of that and you know who you are, that's when this energy starts to trickle into your relationship. That's when women start to feel that energy around you. A man who is secure, a man that he doesn't need anything from the outside world. A man has like freed himself from attachments, addictions, and impulses, right? That's really the only way you can tap into this energy that makes women just melt around you. Women feel it because it's a frequency thing. There's a level of vitality that opens up inside of you when you're not leaking energy through chasing things in the world, through being addicted to porn or weed or alcohol or whatever the fuck. There's a purification of your energy. The energy actually rises up into the heart and you start to speak with a level of resonance and a level of tone that allows women to feel safe around you. When you've done that, you will be deeply magnetic, right? You'll be deeply magnetic because you know your woman can't control you. She can't control you. Men who have not done this work are controlled by women. They're controlled by their impulses and desires and their sexual pleasures. So therefore, women have them by the balls. Women manipulate the fuck out of those kinds of men. If you want to step into this new level of power and ownership and energetic magnetism, you have to take control of your impulses. You have to free yourself from addictions. You have to move from the heart and not the head. You have to let the energy that's down in these lower centers, your bowls, your sacral, your solar plexus, you have to let that energy naturally rise up. And that means you have to spend time every single day in meditation or in a practice where you are connecting with the lower regions of the body. Because so many men are walking around in their heads all the time, and that's what's keeping them tethered to these earthly addictions, which keeps them weak around women. Okay? So again, if you want support with this kind of stuff, fellas, like again, I hope this transmission has helped to unlock some of these things for you. But brother, if you want that support, I run men's groups to really give you the accountability and coaching to embody this stuff. It's hard to do on your own sometimes, but you're around good men holding you to these high standards. This frequency moves into all areas of your life, not just relationships, but business as well. You can check out the link in the description to learn more about the men's group. But for now, I want you to remember that everything, the energetic attraction is where it's at. Okay, and as you start to raise your energy and your frequency, and you initiate and you take emotional leadership, you free yourself from worldly attachments. You create that safety and security for your woman. She's going to feel magnetized to you. The women you're trying to date are going to just be like, they can't stop thinking about you. And from that place, that's when you can start to take care of your appearance, do the other external things, the money, blah, 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 but get the energetic foundations in place first. Okay, so remember, there's three main ways you can provide that women need to be provided for. It's physically, right? Physically, they need to feel safe around you. Physically, in sex, they need to be fulfilled in the bedroom. But to really get to that point, you have to provide emotionally. Like we've spoken about today on this video, emotional and energetic providing is actually the highest priority. So physical, emotional, and then you could say spiritual is the other way of providing for your woman. Or the other way that you could provide for them is financial, of course. So financial providing being the last way, right? So physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial. But again, I'm not going to go into those today. We understand most of that. It's just the way most men think, which is like, get all the money and then that's enough, and neglect the emotional stuff. That doesn't last very long. That's why so many famous relationships end early. All right, brother. That's all for this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.